Hello, today we'll be talking about Unit 1.4 of Microeconomics, which is comparative advantage and trade. So, what is comparative advantage? Again, like opportunity cost, I think comparative advantage is best explained simply using a graph. So, here is a graph of countries' outputs, specifically USA and Japan. USA in a certain time span can create 120 cars and 90 planes, while Japan can produce 40 cars and 60 planes. So, to find comparative advantage, we need to find opportunity cost of each of these little squares over here. To find the opportunity cost in planes for the cars over here, we need to put the number of planes over here over the number of cars over here. So then we'll be getting 90 over 120, which is 3/4. And obviously for the other side, we just flip this around. We find the reciprocal. So it's 4/3. For Japan, we take 60 over 40, which is 3/2, and 40 over 60, which is 2/3. From then on, to figure out which country should specialize in what, you just simply find out which opportunity cost over here are lower compared to the other ones. So remember, you'll be choosing a square from this side, and the other one has to be the one diagonal from that one. So it can either be this combination or this combination. So obviously, if we look here, 4/3 and 3/2, those are both numbers over 1, and these are both numbers under 1. So it has to be this and this. What this means is the USA should specialize in cars while Japan specializes in planes. That is what comparative advantage is. But before I move on to the next step of going into the exact numbers of the trade, let me explain what absolute advantage is. Absolute advantage is super simple. It's literally just which country produces more in a given time frame. For this case, it will both be the United States for cars and planes, since 120 is more than 40 and 90 is more than 60. If we go back and look at the numbers over here, we can see that the numbers on the right side here are 4/3 and 2/3. The number of planes traded per car should be somewhere between these two numbers. So it should be over here, it should be a number between 2/3 and 4/3. Any number inside here will do, because any number below 2/3 here, Japan would not trade. And any number over 4/3 here, USA would not trade. Because in that case, the country themselves would just produce it, because they'll actually be at a disadvantage by trading. So it has to be a number between 2/3 and 4/3. The most obvious choice is to just go 1. So the trade number here will probably be 1 car for 1 plane. That was an output question, but there's also input questions. And really the only difference is basically the answer you have gotten for the output question, you need to flip that. So in this case, we are looking at the inputs going into the resource. So this is how many resources it takes to make 1 car. It doesn't have to be time here. It can actually also be like amount of labor and acres of land, like maybe for like crops. But here it is simply the time it takes to create 1 plane and 1 car. So we could just do what we did before. So now we need to take, like we did before, the number over here and divide it by the number over here. So we get 4 over here, and we find the reciprocal of 4, which is 1/4 over here. We do this exact same for the bottom, but they're both 10, so it's just 1 and 1. In this case, we look at the numbers. Obviously, if this was an output question, we would choose this one, because it's 1/4 and 1 compared to 4 and 1. But this is an input question. You should be thinking the opposite. So basically, more is better here. So it should be 4 and 1. So it would be USA specializing in cars and Japan specializing in planes, once again. If you're having trouble doing this fast, then I actually have a special tip. It's actually really easy. You simply just need a cross multiply. with how the table is set up and how the numbers are set up, you literally just cross multiply. You see 510, that's 50. 2010, that's 200. This is the bigger number, so it has to be the smaller number. So then it's this one. Same thing for the input question. The output question. You can do the exact same thing for the output question. You look at the numbers, you cross multiply. 6 times 12, that's 72. 9 times 4, that's 36. So it has to be the 6 times 12 one. Of course, it's 6,200, but I'm just simplifying here. It has to be this one. If you're going to do this shortcut, still make sure you actually understand why this works. But if you're just skimming through the test and you're running out of time, you should probably do this because it's way faster. As for the number to trade, though, that only tells you which countries to specialize in what. But as for the number of trade, you still need to figure that out yourself. That is basically 1.4. Thank you for watching.